You don't know me from where I've been. Some people think when you give a hopeless man $1, it's not nearly enough to change their life. Well, I have a very different story to tell. Now, you might know me from the front window of a Barnes & Noble or maybe railing against Purdue Pharma on CNN. But that's not where I started, and it's that dollar that saved me. It started out on the corner of Hollywood and Highland. My whole life fit into a plastic trash bag. The sign that I held back in 2014 read, $1 will help. I always knew that I could panhandle enough to get through the next day. Now, it might be hard to envision me up here with this fancy sport coat on, but just a few miles and a few years from here, I was homeless. I was addicted to heroin. I was suicidal. And I was alone. It was like a void without love. Some nights I would couch surf or I'd find my way to the coin-op laundry where I would stay inside and I'd wash my clothes on repeat just so that I could stay there to pet the dogs as they came inside. Now it's survived since 2014, right in front of the Lowe's Hotel. For 30 days, I walked here religiously and I put 35 cents in to call the public treatment center to see if a bed was available for me. I didn't want to get sober. I was just looking for a reprieve. And on Thanksgiving Eve, 2014, the voice on the other end said yes. When I made it to 1 year in recovery, my sister Alexis made a deal with me. If I stayed sober for 1 more year, she would bring back my 3-year-old Pitty, the same one I gave up in my addiction. And exactly 1 year later, this 65-pound pit bull showed up at my doorstep. His tail was wagging so hard that he nearly knocked me over. He squeaked and he whined until I held him. This is Dollar, and he saved my life. He was my first love before I met the love of my life, Sean. It was the love that was different than I had for other humans. It was the love between a person and their dog, and a dog and their person. At 1 year, I could barely take care of myself, but Dollar relied on me for everything, from kibble to vet visits. Because of him, I learned accountability. Because of him, I learned responsibility. And because of him, I became a whole person again. My bond with Dollar was the first thing that was a priority for me beyond alcohol and using. Taking care of him gave me purpose like I had never had before. For the first time, I was not alone. I had someone to love who loved me back, and boy, did he love me. More than once, I found him snuggled up next to me under the covers in bed. Even while I was asleep, Dollar was watching me. His smile was so contagious. Dollar helped me to learn how to have fun again. He was such a goofball. He knew that joy came from the simple things in life. Couch cuddles, a ball, a treat. He knew it came from a place of love. And because he loved me, I found myself dreaming bigger. Dollar watched all my dreams come true. He taught me focus and patience. When I was writing my first book, he was my editor. But last summer, 7 years after he came back into my life, Dollar exposed his one major flaw. He let me outlive him. After all he had taught me, he now taught me to say goodbye. When you give a hopeless man $1, his whole life changes. Dollar and my recovery transformed me into a person who cares about living every day to its fullest and living a life that I absolutely love. Dollar was so much more than a dog. He was my angel when I needed him. He used love to coax me back to a life of purpose, a life of caring beyond just the borders of me. So what can $1 do? This dollar transformed my heart. He supported me in a way that only the very goodest boy could. He's been gone for a while, but Dollar's spirit still greets me every morning when I wake up. He is my heart dog. He taught me to live in the moment, to slow down, to choose happiness. You see, when you give a hopeless man $1, you teach him how to give. And that's why I now give my heart to this little rascal, Quincy. There will never be another dollar. But if there is one lesson he continues to teach me today, it's that our hearts and our potential are so much greater than we could ever imagine on our own. Thank you.
Brian Hampton.